Welcome back, guys. One of the ways I can tell that the days are getting shorter is now when I leave to go riding in the morning, it's almost nighttime. We've had such a dry summer that I think the colors will come early and be really bright this year. One thing that is not too bright this year is me. Before coming out, I did a gear oil change on the KTM 200. Forgot some part somewhere and couldn't get my skid plate on, so I needed Rich's help. He hooked me up. Skid plate's on and we're rolling. A little ways up the trail and I just feels like the motor is soft, it's not cleaning out well, I'm not exactly sure what's going on. And we come to the first big sort of step up and I don't even go for the jump because it just doesn't feel right. Okay, so I guess not a bad effort considering I was probably in fourth gear. I know there's a problem, I don't know what it is yet. Eventually I figure it out, and when I say eventually, I mean after a long time. Because it didn't happen right away. I stop here to investigate. I think the skid plate is interfering with my shift lever.
You can see it. Whatever, shit happens. Let's go back and fucking fix it.
Rich's advice was on target, and when I actually got things installed in the right place, we were finally, actually, back on the road. So, here we go, that same step up, take two. Okay, so I think I scared myself there. Got over it in the right gear and then stalled it. But pro move. Got to restart it before falling over or putting a foot down. Okay, back at the tar road. Get the nod. Skid plate's in the right place. I make sure Rich does not want to wear goggles, and we're off. It had rained the night before and most of the day before, so the roots were wet, the rocks were wet, everything was slick. It wasn't terrible, but it definitely, compared to how dry it's been, it was slicker than usual. Right through the woods, first little rocky climb here leads onto all these roots and the big step up onto the tabletop. Well, this really bumpy, rocky downhill leads onto what I guess would be like the only thing you could call a straightaway at Foxboro. We met a guy, he refers to it as Rocksboro because it's pretty much rocks the whole way. Not as bad as Freetown. So here's your straightaway. You can open it up if you want. Although my experience has been there's always at least one pumpkin-sized rock out in the middle somewhere. You can hear me giving it some gas. I must have been feeling pretty good today. Interesting. There's a little jump here and yeah, alright, got some air off of there. It looks like I'm fired up. I must be happy to be back on the KTM. Coming up here is a little stream crossing. You wouldn't know it because it's so dry. But it's just a little rock bed. You got to go high or low. I guess I'm going low this time. It's pretty rocky, but boy, you can see the front end's nice and plush. I kind of can float over that stuff. the confidence to stay on the gas and know that the bike will track straight. Good stuff. Probably need one more downshift and a little more momentum. Watching it back, I can see through this whole section, that's all stuff that if you're just on the gas and have the weight off the front end, you can bounce and float over it. If you have a little bit lower confidence and you roll into it, it's really going to kill your momentum, or you're going to have to ride all around it. Also known as what I've been doing for the last 2 years, but I'm getting better. Most of this here I'm doing in third gear, really the bottom of third gear. Every once in a while I get into fourth just for a second. I could do it in second, I think. It'd just be revving more. Oh, there's a step up and... oh. That was ugly, and I think resulted being in third gear instead of second. Just went to hit the gas, revs were too low, and stalled it. Did not fall over, surprisingly, and also managed to restart it. Like usual, I was working very hard to keep the momentum up and keep the speed up. Less focused on like hard gas, hard brakes. More focused on just not slowing down. That works well, usually, but you have to kind of, it's a leap of faith. You gotta roll over stuff and just kind of trust the bike. The KTM 200 has been fantastic. Has not let me down and generally really encourages me when I do kind of keep the speeds up. Coming up here is a pretty good example of that. There's this nice smooth flowing run into this steep hill. Okay, it's not a steep hill if you live in Colorado, but it's rocky and sharp uphill, sharp downhill. Try to float over all this stuff on the way up, crest the top, and then don't hit the brakes, try to even be on the gas on the downhill. Watching this back, I can say I think this is a pretty good pace for me compared to normal. I look aggressive, and you can hear I'm getting on the gas in areas where normally I would coast or just kind of goof around. That's good, and it felt great. It's nice to go fast. I'm glad I was going fast in that last part because this is the first really slippery climb, and if my memory is right, I think I screwed this up. Let's see what oh, yeah, okay. I go to the right here instead of the left. Not where you want to go, and then what is it, like a rodeo ride here? Not terrible. Not great. You could see my foot go down there a couple times, so I couldn't clean it, but I got through it all right.
Stalled it. Bugs in the face. Had to stop. Goggles. Stopped. Got a coffee. I was like, all right.
Howdy.
Hello.
It's a little dusty.
Yeah, just a little.
It's just a tad.
What's going on?
Have fun, guys.
Thanks. You too.
Good.
Yep.
I can still remember mountain biking at Foxboro, and man, you would bring people to Foxboro, they would ride here one time. Invariably, parts of their bicycle would be destroyed. Usually it was the derailleur, the rear derailleur, which hangs off the back and gets snagged on one of these rocks right here, just ripped off. Also, people got injured, and anyway, point being, you'd go once, and then that was it. You wouldn't come back. This climb, by the way, brutal. Really a difficult climb. I was psyched to clear it. I'm always psyched when I can get up here without slowing down and putting a foot down. And it leads right into probably the most difficult climb, or the second most difficult climb. You gotta jump over this rock, then make a hard left, and then you have to stall your bike right here. Yeah, you have to stall your bike there, then you have to restart it and ram the front wheel into that step. Stall your bike again. And again, and again, and again, and again. There's a line to the hard left. I don't know why I never take it. Rich always takes it. He does just fine. I don't know. What conclusions do you draw from that? I'm not sure. Well, there you have it, folks. He glides right up, and no effort at all. I suppose I could learn something from that guy. Maybe. This downhill section here starts the beginning of about 3 minutes, maybe 3.5 minutes of really difficult technical riding that takes a lot out of my upper body. Just a lot of effort required to get through here cleanly, and it leads up to what I think is the toughest sort of uphill rock garden climbish type thing on the whole loop. And this is you're like pulverized. You're just getting tenderized here for that hard climb later. There's like a low line and a high line through this sort of rock garden here. I mean, there are so many rock gardens. How do you tell the difference? Anyway, this is the high line. You come around, and on the left here, after these trees, right about here, that rock in the middle is really good for crushing your expansion chamber on a two-stroke. So if you shoot that gap, it'll turn your expansion chamber into like a harmonica. This is the part where almost every lap I'm just about ready to tap out. I'm like, the heart rate is really high, the upper body, working all through those rocks and stuff. I really need a break, and there is no break. There's just more trees, more rocks, more complaining inside your helmet. This place here is a really good place to fall over, really good section. Eventually it like kind of empties out, but it doesn't really get a lot better. This right here, this is your rest. You should catch your breath here and push through the last section before the really big climb. This is another expansion chamber killer. This gap between the tree and that rock is maybe about 8 inches wider than the width of the engine and expansion chamber. So if you make it through there, there's really no good line through here. Totally gassed at this point, and there's another climb. You think this must be it. We must finally be getting a break. You gotta bounce up over this, through this gap, around the corner, and then you realize, oh, that's all just an appetizer for the big rock hill. This is it. There's a line hard left, and then going up over here on the right, which I take, and then I realize, oh, there's a tree in the way. Oh, very nice. This poses a genuine conundrum for me, because even if I get the front wheel over that, there isn't enough room for me to get to a 90-degree angle. So I'm going to have to slide the back wheel over, and I'm kind of in no man's land here. These are all like the size of basketballs, all these rocks. I'm just saying that, number one, because it's true, but number two, just to excuse my horrible performance here. This is a total ball crusher. Ugh. I did make it, though.
Did you hear me?
No.
I probably had to. I fucking almost threw my bike in the woods and walked away. It just keeps stalling. I don't know if I don't know what to adjust. It just like had the clutch all the way in start, and I wouldn't even let it out, and it would stall. Then it would stall. Then it would stall. Coming down that rock garden where the big fucking pumpkin rocks are, I'm like, oh, I'm great speed, great speed. Drop the eyes down. Fucking just a mess. How I held on, I don't know, but I did.
So Rich obviously having some problems with his idle, or maybe the clutch is dragging. We're not totally sure. And then you can see, since it's Foxboro, you know, after that break where you're just venting, it goes straight into this other section that's like impossible to ride. Now it is true that Foxboro is basically 99% rocks and drop-offs and roots, but there is that 1% of fast-flowing single track, like this right here. Okay, sure, a couple of bumps here and there, but for the most part, smooth, flowing, fast. It leads out onto this fire road, which I think is like what dirt biking is in other parts of the country, you know, like I was saying before. Wide open, there are some jumps, you can get air, the trees are far away. This is like fourth gear, like easy, you know. But when I ride through here, I also remember that I think this is the section of Foxboro where somebody strung a cord or a wire across the trail at like head height as some kind of anti-motorcycle pro-environment thing. So, you know, I don't go all out through here. Now, like at everything at Foxboro and in life, it does just lead to a huge pile of rocks at the very end. But, you know, you can fly over it, or at least sometimes you can. The fact that it's been so dry really helps a lot. I think smooths a lot of this stuff out. And I was psyched to just kind of sky over that stuff. There's a hard left here, and then you duck back into like a pine woods section. A lot more roots across the trail. Plenty of rocks, but they seem smaller, maybe? I don't know. Or further apart. I'm not sure. So that's where last time I was here, I got a little bit off the trail right there and hit that.
Did you go down?
Oh yeah.
Jesus.
Well, I went up.
Oh.
And then I went down.
Yes. When in doubt, ride it out. I don't even know what that means.
When in doubt, wipe out.
Yeah.
At this point, believe it or not, the lap is winding down, getting back to the trailhead where you turn for the trucks. There is one final climb, and guess what? It's really rocky. We have dented header pipes, crushed radiators. Oh, it's terrible. It's right here. You start off on the right. You have to go back over to the left and cross again here. Then if you really are lucky and you just keep the gas on and your weight back, you can clean it like that. But I can tell you from experience, you can also crash there, which I've done probably 20 times.
Oh, I knew another lap.
Incredibly enough, despite some mechanical problems and a bike that wouldn't really idle, Rich was up for another lap. Happily, I got some of it on the GoPro, and very happily, the pace was really high. Mostly consisted of me trying to follow Rich and watching him disappear into the distance. A lot of the same sections, obviously, but I'll cut down to the interesting stuff and give you, I don't know, a glimpse into what it's like to see Rich ride faster than you are.
There's got to be a way to adjust it. I mean, there's no, like, physical...
What about at the other end? Sorry.
Maybe I'm low on fluid. I don't know. Let's just ride. It'll be fine.
Alright, so this will be the third time going up this step up right at the beginning of the loop. Let's see how I pull it off this time. Going for the big jump and up and... Ooh, am I going to hit this tree? What do you think? Well, I hit that first section a little bit harder than the first time, and we're off into that big drop off up here. I'm trying to catch Rich to see if I can see him get air, and well, you can kind of see. We're hauling in any event. when Rich totally lights the fire, you know, and like takes off, it's always like I wanna follow, I want to be fast, I want to catch him, but I know that like if I get closer, he's gonna think he has to go faster. But no, just it's okay. You're gonna drop me soon anyway. Here's that little rock garden. You can see Rich takes that lower line, flies right through. I tried this upper line, and that is bumpy. All through here, yeah, looks not too bad. Momentum is fine. Could be better. Doing all right. But check it out. Rich, he's gone. He's already like 5 seconds up the trail. Good stuff. Search for Rich continues through the single track here. I think I catch a glimpse of him because there's a kind of a long straight section here, relatively straight right there. Yeah, and he's about to take a hard right and open the gas on this little connecting fire road here. We're doing good work today. This is good speed for us. Leaves down, or it looks like a lot of leaves down, but we've actually been out for a ride since this one, and the place was carpeted with leaves, so we can actually still see most of the trail, almost all of the trail. No excuses there. It's not too bad, but later in the season that's going to just be like riding on a blanket with rocks and roots underneath it. That should be fun. Oh, here's that little step up where I stalled it, because I think I was in third. Let's see what happens this time. Yeah, okay, no drama, no big deal. Coming up here, I think you take this left, and then if you look up the trail, I always think that the stump up there on the right is a person, right there. That thing? Yeah, I don't know why. It always freaks me out. I take the alternate line here. Rich goes left, I went right. Just see if I can mix it up a little bit here and experiment. Really close, but when you're out there riding, I mean, it's just tree after tree after tree after tree. You get used to it. Something I have started working on is front brake pressure. I've adjusted the front brake lever, I think, after this ride, so that going into corners, I'm just a lot more aggressive. If you watch here, you'll see I do a lot of coasting. And coasting is basically just wasted time. Time when you could either be still on the gas, steady, or even accelerating. And the way you eliminate coasting is by developing more confidence in your braking. In road racing, I was almost never coasting. Track days, sometimes I'm coasting, and in the dirt, I coast a lot. So I think if I can change that, that'll bring my overall speed up too. section right here is probably as close to what I imagine normal dirt bike riding is like. The trail's smooth, it's flowing, not a ton of rocks anywhere. There are a couple of obstacles, but they're not really complicated, like this little blowdown, just jump over that. All the turns are burned. I think this is what dirt biking is supposed to be like if you live outside of the Northeast. Doesn't look like much on the GoPro, but man, that was awesome. And also, boom, right here. Good advertisement for having goggles. So Rich disappeared briefly, and then I think I caught up to him here. This is that slippery hill climb again. Yep, there he is up there. Let's see if I can get through this any better than last time. I bet you I don't go right. Yeah, no, I go left. Not the greatest run, but not terrible. Whoa, where am I going? Up out of the burn into the rut. Man, all over the place. Got there though. It's been so long since the trail here was tacky. I'm just used to this dry, kind of silty sand. It's not the same. I think it's easier, to be honest. And this section here I really like. I used to go really slowly through here, but now I'm finally opening it up. And that's just a question of trusting the suspension and keeping the gas open. Lift that front wheel right up.
I try to not... I don't know what I do. Well, so far I've made it to all the sections that I had small breakdowns before, so that's good. Good?
I gotta say, it's one of the tragedies of our time that the GoPro battery gave up at this point, because we did another lap, and it was even better than this lap. I had a fantastic time. Rich rode like a pro. We were like gods among the creatures of the forest. Anyway, we'll just have to do better next time. So stay tuned, guys, stay safe, and the next video will feature an epic mental breakdown, not to be missed.